Visegrad fortress. It guards the river and was blown up in the 18th century by the Turks when they were retreating from the oncoming forces. And here's Prague. We're now in Prague, Czechoslovakia. Praha, as they call themselves there. There's the in-tourist bus that we went on, and we stayed at the Botel Admiral. It was a boat, some kind of a ferry boat or maybe a cruise ship that they just permanently anchored at this dock and called it a botel. Combination of a hotel and a boat docked in the Danube River, of course. So another little vignette. We waited at the Budapest airport for over 7 hours for the air corridor to open up. The Allies were having some kind of war games. The Russians and their allies were having some kind of war games, and while we were waiting, they served us drinks. So we're in the Jewish section now of Prague, a very, very famous synagogue. Prague and this synagogue is where the story of the that being that was created out of dust to avenge the torture and mistreatment of Jews in Europe at that time. Gomel, I think it was called, no? And here it is, the oldest Jewish cemetery in Prague, 1270. We bought some books. I guess, Adrie, you've got these books. You still have them in the collection someplace that you can look up. Add something to the narration of these scenes. That was quite moving to go through that synagogue that had survived the Nazi atrocities. It's still a functioning synagogue today for 800 years. Here we are outside in that same area. I think we're going to the cemetery where the Baal Shem Tov is buried, I believe. Yeah, this is the oldest Jewish cemetery, synagogue and cemetery in Europe, and it's still in use. It's also a museum. The chair of Rabbi Löwe, Rabbi Lion, and his gravestone is there. We saw before the town square and the glockenspiel with the astronomical clock. Here's some of the tombstones of the old rabbis. Let's see if I can get some music on as we're getting into this pretty deeply. Here comes the test with the microphone again. I hope this is working. We're on the Radnici Cathedral Palace area in Czechoslovakia. Beautiful area. Second time I had been there on this trip was the second time. And on the same reel, I think right after this set of clips, I've spliced on the trip I made with WernerD several years before. I had on assignment on consignment an AGFA small. Here it is, coming up now. St. Charles Bridge. First night we went to Pilsen, which is the famous beer town, Pilsner beer. And there's the bridge over the river. There's the Radnici up on the top there. And there's WernerD getting into his car outside his apartment on, what was that one, Panoramastrasse. We're driving on the Autobahn, or no, it's not an Autobahn, a road on our way past Würzburg, past Nuremberg, to the Czech border. Now there's Autobahns almost all the way to that border. There used to be none. It probably took us 10, 12 hours to get to Prague. I think you can do it in 6 hours now. Picking up Theo Nuring and Herbert Krieger. Theo Nuring died. He's the big guy getting in the back there. There's GB getting in the front with Werner as his co-pilot. Skoda is made in Pilsen. We stayed at the Skoda Hotel. Skoda is the world famous